you provide us with a brief overview of your lecture?
Sure. So for my lecture today, I presented on three concepts about mobility nowadays. So one is this transition to shared mobility, which is the idea of sharing resources to make it more efficient. The second one is the transition to mobility as a concept, kind of moving away from a more traditional perspective of transportation, moving people from point A to point B for mostly commuting, work commuting trips purposes, into a more comprehensive understanding of people's need to move, for different purposes at different times of the day and different areas of the city. And the third concept is, how mobility, this understanding of mobility is contributing to a more sustainable transportation. And after presenting these three concepts, I introduced to the audience the Shared Use Mobility Center, what we do, and detail a little bit more about the Mobility on Demand Home Run program that I manage, and some of the lessons that could be applicable for the projects that are looking at improving mobility options at UIC's campus.
Wonderful. The lecture was very informative. Through everything that you spoke about today, if you had one or two really key takeaways that you'd like the people listening in the audience to remember, what would those be, and how might those be applicable here on campus at UIC?
That's a great question. I think that one takeaway would be that there's a lot of room for innovation in the mobility sector and the mobility industry. So we are currently working at the Shared Use Mobility to develop ideas and develop projects to implement those innovative projects. But I think that everybody who is interested in providing better solutions for people to move around, that's a very exciting time to be in the transportation industry and the mobility sector in particular. So innovation would be the first takeaway. The second one is, of course, contributing to the cultural change that it's required to move from the idea that transportation options have to be owned by individuals and move into a perspective where mobility options are the goal for society and for communities, and we want to provide as much access as possible to all those options so people can complete their trips the cheapest, safest, and more convenient way possible.
Great. Well, you were just talking about the rate of innovation and how so much is changing in the transportation industry. And throughout your presentation, you gave wonderful examples. Out of all the different things that are changing in transportation, what do you think are the most exciting things happening right now, and maybe will be happening in the near future?
I think that one of the most exciting things that are happening in mobility sector are, first of all, how all the developments in technologies, could be communications technologies or vehicles technologies or infrastructure technologies, are evolving or maturing into a point where they're creating more and more partnerships. So either public-private partnerships with different transit agencies or cities, and they're moving into a point where those innovative technologies are living kind of a lab environment, and they're being moved into testing grounds at city levels or campus levels, or different type of deployments that are opening a new set of challenges where this is not just about will the technology perform good or badly or poorly in different contexts, but actually being able to test those technologies and those ideas, and also figure out how they will interact with other either built-in environments or people's behavior or other policies or other policies that may conflict with those the operation of those technologies that work pretty well on the lab, but then in real life, they need to be part of an ecosystem.
Wonderful. This has been a tremendous amount of great and useful information that I think a lot of people in the class can actually apply right here on campus. Now for one fun question. What's your favorite mode of transportation?
I'm still very attached to DB. I think that was a big revolution when the bike share program came to the city of Chicago. I think that at least for me expanded the options that I have to move around the city. I'm still using DB most of the time in combination with the CTA service, but it definitely expanded the potential destinations within the city, gave me more flexibility, more freedom, and definitely provided me a more not just healthy but fun way of going around the city.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.